Hey, what's going on, everybody? So this is gonna be the first video I ever upload to YouTube. Hope you guys like it. If you do, let me know. That way I can go ahead and put out some more content for you guys. So without further ado, the Taurus G2C. Let's get into it. So we're here at the range. Let's get back into it. Taurus G2C. We're gonna do 5-shot groups. 5 at 5, 5 at 7, 5 at 10, and 5 at 12. Hot brass, hot brass. There you go. That's my group, guys. You can see at the 10-yard over here, I kind of, I don't know. I just wasn't patient with it. I pulled it. The 12-shot group will obviously show you that the gun group's a lot better than I can. Real quick, had a little bit of time over here in the range. Everybody cleared out. So I'm going to try and get a little extra footage that I originally wasn't going to include, okay? What I want to do is I want to go ahead and time my draw in my first shot. The standard is 7 yards. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to do the 7 yards, draw 1 shot, and the average or the accepted standard is 2 seconds or below. And if I can, if I have a little bit of time, I'll try and do some double taps for you guys on this target over here, okay? Got my Pocket Pro 2. So 1 shot, 7 yards in the target, 2.01. There we go. That I like. 1.99, barely under 2, but I got it. Now let's do those double taps real quick. No timer or anything. Just gonna draw and double tap at a reasonable pace. Both on target. For time, go ready. Both on target. Shot. Like I said, only got 2 on target. They're within those 2 seconds. And this is my double tap. 7 yards. A little bit low and left. That's me. That's the grip. But I'm pretty pleased with that. As far as getting into the specific things that I have on mine and the reason why I chose them, to check the first box is some sort of night sights, guys. As far as the Taurus, there really isn't a lot of options, but the reason why I always try and go for night sights on any handgun that I have, guys, I know the fiber optic sights are pretty popular for the Taurus. The thing that you have to consider when it comes to fiber optic sights is that those fiber optic rods do break. They're pretty much pinned at the edges, and sometimes you have that center portion exposed. And if anything were to come in contact with it, there goes your fiber optic rod and there go your sights, okay? So for that particular reason is why I prefer steel sights. Secondary reason why I prefer night sights, steel night sights, is also because you have to consider that in a self-defense situation, or sometimes even just in a hobby situation, what if you want to go practice some night shooting at the range, or low light shooting in particular? Fiber optics aren't going to be much help, and/or sights that don't have tritium in them. They're not going to be much help at night. Now, you can say, obviously, okay, I have a weapon mounted light. Sure, all right. But what if your weapon mounted light goes down? That's the thing, guys. You always want to have a backup to your backup to your backup, right? So with steel night sights, that's what you're buying. You're buying insurance. Insurance that because they're steel, they're not going to break down on you. And insurance that because they have tritium in them, you'll be able to see them at night regardless of the situation, okay? So let me see if I can, there you go. So you guys can get a good kind of sight picture on there. Whoa, let me move it back. Well, you get the point, right? These are from TrueGlow. These are, if I'm not mistaken, the name on these is TrueGlow Tritium Pro for the Taurus G2C. Serrated rear, non-outlined, just tritium in the back. And then the front, you get a nice big rounded dot on there, guys. And honestly, this is the way I prefer to run my sights. As you can see, the rear sights are just a bit smaller than the front. And there's a reason for that, guys. Whenever you draw, you want quick acquisition, and that larger front sight is what's going to give you that. TrueGlow Tritium Pros, that's gold for the Taurus G2C, okay? Let's move on to grips. If you can see right here in the corner, this is some of the original grip texture that comes from the factory in the Taurus G2C. However, because occasionally I do carry this gun, that original texture on the grip, if you're not wearing an undershirt, guys, it's gonna rub you raw. For some of you guys, that might not bother you. For me, I just figured, well, why not be comfortable, right? I went ahead and picked up these rubberized grips from Sandpaper Pistol Grips. Everybody goes with Talon. Talon grips are just fine. The only reason why I went with these is because I preferred the little styling that they had on this grip tape. And I love that they included this smaller section down here for the mag, just so that it matches. So yeah, I like that. Sandpaper Pistol Grips on these. In any sort of firearm that you might have that you're even remotely considering for self-defense or home defense, you gotta have a weapon mounted light, guys. It's just one of those things that's absolutely a necessity. This is from Olight. This is your PL Mini 2. The nice thing about the PL Mini 2 that you're not gonna get with some of their other models is this little ratcheting system on here. There's a whole bunch of reviews on these. Go ahead and check them out, guys. They'll give you a lot more info. But for the basics, super reliable light, 600 lumens, fits the Taurus G2C perfectly flush right here. And if you wait for one of their flash sales, you can get it for as low as 70 bucks. Holsters, okay, this is pretty cool because I had a really hard time finding a good holster for the Taurus. Like I mentioned, because it's not a Glock or a more popular brand out there, you're gonna be limited on options. So I actually found these locally. This is from a company called Storm Holsters and Tactical Accessories. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I spoke to the owner, and I might have been one of the first guys to request this holsters, at least here locally, from this particular company. So that's pretty cool. Points for me, I guess. And but needless to say, it's a very well-made holster. It's very comfortable. What do I like about it? First of all, the clip is canted at an angle. So when you got it on your waist, what it's gonna do is it's gonna cant the gun a little bit forward, so that when you grip it from your waist, it's a more comfortable position. Canted clip, I like that. Also, positive retention, guys. So let me go ahead so you can hear that click. You hear that? Okay. So that's what you want to hear with a holster. You want that positive click on there. Also, light bearing. That's a biggie. To find a Taurus holster that houses the Olight PO Mini 2, it's pretty tough. I tried looking for one, and these guys basically gave me the best option out there. So just the fact that it houses that PO Mini 2 with the Taurus is awesome. And they also went ahead and included an area for the charging port for your PO Mini 2. Also, a biggie that you want to look into when it comes to holsters is this section back here. Why? Because this is what's rubbing up against your body. And when you have it in your waistband, some of these holsters don't go all the way up here and cover this area. Why do you want this area covered? I'm going to tell you why real quick. Because your mag release is there. And I have bought in some cheap holsters in the past inside the waistband. And you quickly realize that this button is pretty sensitive. So you move the wrong way or sit the wrong way or whatnot. Something rugs up against and there goes your mag. Okay? So we don't want that. We want to keep that mag release button secured, as well as your safeties up here, and of course your trigger. So that's one of the biggies why I prefer this holster over others. Now let's get to some of these upgrades that are a little less typical. For the Taurus G2C in particular, one of the biggies that you want to upgrade on here, guys, is this striker sleeve guide right over here at the end. Let me see if I can bring it up a little bit closer. That's made out of stainless steel. Now, from the factory, the Taurus comes with a plastic striker sleeve. Because it's a $200 handgun, the machining on there isn't great, guys. So it does have some rough edges, and what that tends to do is that it tends to make your striker gritty and grindy. You're definitely going to notice the difference in smoothness and feel by upgrading that striker sleeve. And also, it's going to give you more peace of mind. As far as avoiding malfunctions, that is from Lakeline LLC. So you guys can go out there and find it. I saved the best for last. Most importantly, and I'm a huge fan of this, guys, I went ahead and replaced the trigger shoe on here. I was considering getting a trigger weight gauge, but I talked myself out of it, and I want to explain to you a little bit of the reason why I did that. By replacing this trigger shoe, I quickly learned, guys, that trigger weight isn't necessarily as important as the contour of the trigger, as the feel of the trigger, as the length of pull, as pre-travel, over-travel in the trigger, things like that. All of those things are much more important than trigger weight. And if you've gone out there and shot more than your typical guy, if you've gone out there and done a little bit of training, if you've gone out there and taken some classes, you're quickly gonna learn that, guys. So when it comes to me personally, I don't give trigger weight much credit, but needless to say, this trigger right here is from a guy on YouTube. His channel is called Keep Tinkering. Awesome trigger. There's other really good reviews on there. The particular model that I have is the Slight Curve, once again from Keep Tinkering, and this is a single action only. So by replacing this trigger shoe, you're also gonna lose your trigger safety, guys. You're gonna lose that little trigger dingus right here in the middle, like the Glocks have. You're gonna notice this one doesn't have it. So you do lose that one little safety. But if you've ever owned Glocks before, um, you're gonna realize that the safety on any gun is your finger and being a responsible gun owner. This keep tinkering trigger. Like I said, there's other really good reviews out there, so I'll let you go out there and do your own research. Final rundown. Again, we have the TrueGlow Tritium Pro night sights. I paid about $70 for those. Sandpaper pistol grips. I paid about $18 for it. Olac Peel Mini 2. I got it on the flash sale, about $70. Storm holsters, light bearing, inside the waistband. I paid around $50 for that. The stainless steel striker guide back here. I paid about $18 for that. And the keep tinkering trigger. If I'm not mistaken, he's got it for about $30 on his website. So all in all, I dumped about an extra $200 into this handgun, which is not much for the cost of the gun, which is, you know, in some cases less than $200. You're gonna put around $150 to $200 in upgrades in it, and you're still paying less than a Glock, but you have many more features. So needless to say, this is a pretty good budget option. Hey guys, so anyway, that was my review of the Taurus G2C, and pretty much just like I've been saying all video, guys. As far as bang for your buck, as far as value in a subcompact 9mm, doesn't get much better, guys. Taurus G2C is fire, guys. I'm out. See y'all next time.